Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this special press briefing by Foreign Secretary Sri Vikram Misri on the ongoing visit of the Prime Minister of India to Japan for the 15th annual summit. We are also joined by our ambassador to Japan, Sri C.B. George, as also Joint Secretary East Asia in the Ministry of External Affairs, Sri Gaurang Lal Das. Before I give the mic to Foreign Secretary to brief you on today's developments, when you ask your question, when we give the floor to you, please do identify yourself and your organization, and then you can ask your question. With that, I give the floor to Foreign Secretary for his opening remarks. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ranveer. Good evening, all. It's relatively late hour in Tokyo for a briefing, but glad you could all make it. As you all know, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is on a two-day visit to Japan for the 15th annual summit with Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Prime Minister is accompanied by a high-level delegation as well as a business delegation. The Prime Minister arrived in Tokyo early this morning and received a very warm and festive welcome by the government and people of Japan, as well as the representatives of the Indian community here in Tokyo. The first engagement following his arrival was in the afternoon, which was the India-Japan Economic Forum, which was attended jointly by Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Ishiba. Both of them addressed the captains of Indian and Japanese industry. This was followed by a few meetings between the Prime Minister and senior and leading political personalities of Japan. Former Prime Ministers Suga and Kishida called on the Prime Minister and discussed issues of mutual interest relating to the bilateral relationship and regional and global developments. This evening, the Prime Minister was received by Prime Minister Ishiba at Kantei, and the two leaders spent nearly 2.5 hours together, during which they held delegation-level talks and witnessed the exchange of agreements and understandings between the two sides, addressed the press, and Prime Minister Ishiba then hosted a dinner for Prime Minister Modi. Overall, I would say that the message emanating from the visit and the understandings that have been reached between the two sides is very, very clear. Japan today is one of India's most valued and trusted friends. It is a partner for us in our journey towards Viksit and Atmanirbhar Bharat, a developed and self-reliant India. The fundamentals of our partnership remain strong. Both countries have made giant strides since our ties were elevated to a special strategic and global partnership in 2014. In addition to bilateral issues, the two prime ministers also discussed the regional and global situation, and it was clear that in the midst of considerable geopolitical flux, the ties between India and Japan remain a pillar of stability in the international system. The highlight of the visit is definitely the very broad range of outcomes, which you would probably already be familiar with by now, but these are outcomes that I would characterize as steering the relationship into the next decade, and in many ways laying the foundations for progress and prosperity of the next generation of people from both India and Japan. So allow me to take you through the most important outcomes that we have seen today. Both leaders today exchanged the joint vision for the next decade. This is a 10-year strategic roadmap in economic and functional cooperation between the two sides. This happens to be the 8th decade of our diplomatic ties, and in order to give new vigor to the relationship, both governments have decided to advance cooperation across 8 pillars. And these pillars are economic relations, economic security, mobility, ecological sustainability, technology and innovation, health, people-to-people exchanges, and partnerships between Indian states and Japanese prefectures. The other document that I would invite your attention to is the Joint Declaration on Security Cooperation. This is an enabling framework for India and Japan to better respond to contemporary security challenges. As you're aware, security cooperation between our two countries has been growing steadily over the last few years. The Joint Declaration now puts a framework around this cooperation. An important feature of this particular document is the broad concept of security that it embodies, which includes cooperation on cybersecurity, counterterrorism, defense industry, research and development, and closer cooperation on security issues in multilateral groupings. One of the new features of the security engagement between the two countries will be an institutionalized dialogue for the first time between the national security advisors of the two countries, as well as greater engagement between the joint staffs of the two countries. On a third aspect, there is an Indian diaspora in Japan, but the mechanics of how to leverage this better has been a subject of discussion between both governments, and we find that one of the outcomes of these discussions is the discovery of a natural complementarity between the two sides of what it is that India can provide at this point in time and what it is that Japanese society, Japanese economy, Japanese business needs at this point in time. So Japan has a dynamic economy, but also faces a labor shortage in certain specific sectors. And India has a large pool of skilled and semi-skilled personnel who can fill the need in precisely some of these sectors in Japan. And therefore, I am happy to share that the two sides today concluded an important action plan on human resource exchange, which sets a headline number of two-way exchange of people of 500,000 over the next 5 years, including 50,000 skilled and semi-skilled personnel from India to Japan. We have also issued a joint statement titled "A Partnership for Security and Prosperity for our Next Generation," and you can find this on the website of the Ministry of External Affairs. Both leaders reaffirmed their commitment to a free and open and inclusive Indo-Pacific that is peaceful, prosperous, and resilient. Prime Minister Ishiba reaffirmed that Japan stands with India on the issue of cross-border terrorism. Business linkages lie at the heart of our partnership. Several Japanese companies have had enormous success in India, and Prime Minister recalled this while addressing the India-Japan Economic Forum this afternoon, and he deeply appreciated the role of the private sector and industry in bringing our two countries closer together for the mutual benefit and prosperity of our two nations. You're familiar with the investment target from Japan to India that was set some time back of 5 trillion yen. Today, it was decided to set a new target of 10 trillion Japanese yen investment, or $67 billion of private investment into India. At the business forum, which was held yesterday, The private sector also announced several MOUs and agreements. I think there were about 150 MOUs, MOUs that have been inked in the last 2 years since the last summit in sectors such as automotive, energy, aerospace, semiconductors, and human resources. And the cumulative value of these MOUs and business partnerships is over $13 billion, which is reflective once again of the confidence that the business pillar has in our relationship. Turning to a couple of other aspects of the outcomes today, supply chain resilience is a subject that both countries have been discussing for some time. There is an understanding between the two of us that there is a need to collaborate more, especially on the strategic sectors of our economy. In view of this, both sides launched an economic security initiative, which identifies 5 priority sectors which will receive concentrated attention from the two sides. These sectors are semiconductors, critical minerals, pharmaceuticals, information and communication technology, especially telecommunications, and clean energy. We have issued an economic security fact sheet, which can be seen on our website as well, which captures certain ongoing collaborations as well as planned collaborations, which will contribute to resilient and diversified supply chains for both of our countries. We are living in the age of artificial intelligence, and both leaders therefore recognized that AI is a revolutionary technology that is poised to transform our societies and economies. Both the prime ministers launched the Japan-India Artificial Intelligence Initiative, which will strengthen collaboration on AI, particularly on things like large language models, data centers, and AI governance. Prime Minister also invited Prime Minister Ishiba for the AI Impact Summit, which India is hosting in February 2026. Both the Prime Ministers today acknowledged that we need to celebrate and also intensify the partnership that is blooming between our states and prefectures, and decided to launch the India Kansai Business Forum and the India Kyushu Business Forum to infuse greater energy into our business linkages at the grassroots level. In a unique interaction, tomorrow morning, the Prime Minister Modi will address the governors of several Japanese prefectures here in Tokyo tomorrow, and invite them to develop partnerships with India. The two sides also today concluded a range of MOUs in sectors such as clean energy, critical minerals, digital technologies, space, cultural exchanges, environment, and diplomatic training. And here, before I close, I would like to mention 4 of these agreements in particular. I think it total is more than a dozen, but I would like to highlight 4 agreements. The first is the implementing arrangement for the landmark collaboration between the Indian Space Research Organization and JAXA on the Chandrayaan-5 mission. This was exchanged in front of our leaders today. The critical mineral sector is a big priority, as I said. Japan has advanced technologies and India has resources. The Memorandum of Cooperation on Mineral Resources, which was concluded today, will lead to much more meaningful cooperation in this strategic sector. Thirdly, the joint crediting mechanism will promote Japanese investments into India and contribute to reduction of greenhouse gas emission, as well as help in India's energy transition. And finally, the India-Japan Digital Partnership 2.0 will strengthen our collaboration in digital public infrastructure, digital talent, and joint R&D in futuristic technologies. You can see a full list of these MOUs on the website of the Ministry of External Affairs. Both leaders also positively appraised the progress that is being made on the flagship Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail project and resolved to continue cooperation for the success of the project. They also launched the Next Generation Mobility Partnership, which would leverage the strength of Indian talent and Japanese technology in the infrastructure, logistics, and mobility sector, particularly railways, aviation, ports, and shipping. Tomorrow, as is tradition during the annual summit, the two prime ministers will together travel out of Tokyo. Tomorrow, they will visit Sendai in Miyagi Prefecture. Prime Minister will also visit the Tokyo Electron Factory, which is one of the world's leading semiconductor equipment manufacturing firms. And Prime Minister Ishiba will host lunch for Prime Minister Modi in Sendai itself before the Prime Minister leaves for the next leg of his visit. So once again, to sum up, I think the objective and the ambition of this visit has been to infuse much higher levels of aspiration and momentum into our special strategic and global partnership. And really this summit has been about greater ambition, a stronger and clearer vision, and a reaffirmation of the strength of the all-important India-Japan partnership. Let me stop there and I'll try and answer a few questions. Thank you.
The floor is open, so please. Yeah, we have a question right behind, yes.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from DD India. There is a reference to a joint crediting mechanism. Could you simplify what does that entail? Thank you.
Any more questions? Yeah, Kiran.
Hi, sir. Could you please specify what are the areas where the 10 trillion yen Japanese investment is supposed to go? And secondly, was there any discussion on the quadrilateral security dialogue, given that India is supposed to be holding this summit later this year, and both India and Japan are the key partners in the grouping? Thank you.
Sarjana. Please do announce, please announce yourself, your name, and as also your
नमस्कार
organization.
सर, मैं सर्जना शर्मा हूँ सनमार्ग न्यूज़पेपर से। मेरा क्वेश्चन फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी सर से। सर, जलवायु परिवर्तन पर एक समझौता हुआ और ये आज पूरी दुनिया के लिए बहुत चिंता का विषय है, तरह तरह की फ्लड, गर्मी। तो इसमें क्या मैकेनिज्म भारत और जापान इसमें डेवलप करेंगे ताकि इस नेचर डिजास्टर से निपटा जा सके?
You have a question there. Yeah, please.
नमस्कार सर, मैं
Please, the question. Plus. Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. And I correspondent, my name is Itagaki, and so I have one question. In the beginning of meeting and also in the press conference, the Mr. Modi mentioned about the strong relationship between Indian state and Japanese municipal government. So that is a little bit big surprise for most of Japanese media. And so also now explained about the tomorrow the relationship will be strengthened by Mr. Modi. Mm-hmm. So I want to know about this kind of relationship living from government, Japanese municipal government, and also Indian states. The relationship will be strengthened, and also I'd like to know about tomorrow's treatment to strong it. Can I expect your answer? Thank you so much.
You can take sir one question there.
नमस्कार।
पीछे बोलिए आप।
नमस्कार सर, मैं ओम अवस्थी हूँ आकाशवाणी समाचार से। आपने सर जापान डिजिटल पार्टनरशिप 2.0 की बात की, उसके तहत किस तरह के कदम उठाए जाएंगे, उस पर थोड़ी जानकारी दें।
We'll come back for more questions.
This शुभेंदु's question on the joint crediting mechanism, मेरे विचार में शायद सर्जना आपका सवाल भी इसी को लेके है, क्योंकि जलवायु परिवर्तन को लेके जो समझौता हुआ है वो यही joint crediting mechanism का समझौता हुआ है. तो the joint crediting mechanism is essentially an instrument to facilitate the diffusion of decarbonizing technologies, products, systems, and infrastructure, essentially allowing Japanese companies that make investments in these fields in India it'll help us, of course, in India to meet our greenhouse gas emission reduction goals and promote Japanese investment in India as well. It allows the crediting mechanism allows the two governments to jointly account for carbon reducing measures, and it creates another avenue for green investment by Japanese entities into India. Insofar as the question on the 10 trillion yen investment is concerned, look, we have not set or connected any particular areas to this investment. As you are aware, the investment is eventually going to be made by private companies, and private companies will decide the areas most suited. But if you look at everything else that we have done during the course of this visit, for instance, the areas that I highlighted insofar as the economic security initiative is concerned, or the 8 pillars of the joint vision document, I think you have a fair idea of where the investment is likely to be directed. On the issue of the Quad, yes, both Prime Ministers noted that it was an important forum for discussions and agreed to remain in close touch on this particular issue. With regard to the question on engagement between states and prefectures, this is something that we have similar mechanisms with other countries where relationships are encouraged either between cities or provinces through agreement, of course, between the national governments. It helps in promoting tourism, promoting cultural exchanges, promoting people-to-people exchanges, and above all, it can also help in business promotion between the two countries. So this is what the intention is. Our ambassador here has been working on and promoting the connection between states in India and prefectures in Japan. If I'm not mistaken, you've been to every single prefecture in Japan. So he's very well equipped to drive this cooperation. But yes, tomorrow's event is going to be a very, very unique event when the Prime Minister will have the opportunity to address a group of governors from these prefectures, and I'm sure that there'll be some very good ideas that will come out of this interaction.
So there was a question about digital 2.0.
Digital partnership. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Digital Partnership 2.0 is essentially to take forward our existing partnership in this area. A lot of it will involve talent in the digital field, as well as promoting engagement between enterprises, business enterprises of the two sides that are specifically focused on the digital space. We have agreed to cooperate in digital public infrastructure, for instance, and going forward, there is going to be a lot of cooperation on AI between the two sides as part of the India-Japan joint vision on AI. So I would imagine that the Digital Partnership 2.0 will cover a lot of these areas as well.
Okay. We have a question here.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kenji. I'm with Japan Forward. I have a question for Mr. Secretary Misri. The Joint Security Declaration this afternoon mentions deepening Quad Alliance, and you also mentioned about how the two countries reaffirmed free and open Indo-Pacific. How do you think the intensifying trade tension with Washington and India will impact these sort of security architecture in East Asia? And how does India seek to balance its relationship between Beijing and Washington?
Mm-hmm. You have a question right behind.
सर नमस्ते, मैं अरुण हूँ डीडी न्यूज़ से। सवाल मेरा ये है कि जब दो लीडर्स मिले थे तो यूएस टैरिफ्स को लेकर के कोई जिक्र हुआ था, क्योंकि जब सप्लाई चेन डिसरप्शन की बात करते हैं और एक तरह से पूरी दुनिया इससे प्रभावित है जो टैरिफ्स लगाए गए हैं, तो क्या इसका जिक्र हुआ दोनों लीडर्स के बीच में सर?
Please.
I'm Iwata from Sankei Shimbun, Japanese newspaper. Did Prime Ministers discuss U.S. tariff issue?
You have a question there, yes.
मेरा नाम पूनम है, मैं आईएनएस मीडिया से हूँ। सर मेरा सवाल भी टैरिफ को लेकर है कि क्या बातचीत हुई है, क्योंकि जापान नेगोशिएटर का भी जाना कैंसिल हो गया है, तो क्या स्टैंड इंडिया के साथ है?
ठीक. Last question there behind, yes.
Sir, you talked about Chandrayaan Mission 5.
अपना नाम बताइए.
Sir, I'm Rajneesh from ANI. So, what kind of technological support is expected from Japan? Can you just elaborate on it?
Yeah. Okay. I think the first question was primarily on the joint declaration on security cooperation between the two countries, and then I think there were a number of other issues that you brought into that question. So insofar as the joint declaration on security cooperation is concerned, obviously the idea is to take forward the engagement that is there between the two sides right now to contribute to each other's defense readiness and capabilities through the existing channels of engagement between the two sides. We also have shared goals in maritime security. There is a very robust program of defense industrial cooperation between the two sides. We also want to work closer together on combating traditional and non-traditional threats, and to engage more closely in exchanging views on developing security threats in both regions. Now, the joint declaration will obviously help put an institutional framework around all of these discussions, and we look forward to this particular engagement with Japan. You referred to tensions, other tensions. I think at this point in time, our discussion with Japan is about our bilateral issues. We were not discussing issues between either one of us and any third country, and therefore I would not be in a position to talk about the impact of issues between two other capitals that are not in the room today. Today's discussions were more about, as I said, the broad vision for the India-Japan relationship, what we are doing together naturally, what is happening in the rest of the world is discussed. But today's focus remained squarely on our bilateral cooperation. I think all the other questions really are related to the tariff issue and whether tariffs being imposed were discussed between the two of us. I can share with you that both the Prime Ministers exchanged views on the global situation, the impact that some of these moves have had, and how that essentially creates the ground and the logic for closer cooperation between India and Japan, especially in the field of business, the economy, supply chains, making them more resilient, diversifying our resource bases and our supply chains as well. So that was the thrust of the conversation today. Insofar as Chandrayaan 5 is concerned, the Chandrayaan 5 is also known as the LUPEX mission, the Lunar Polar Expedition. It's a very special mission. It will build on India's successful landing on the south pole of the moon, and the idea is to look together for signs that might support human habitation on the moon. But our space collaboration is not just limited to this one expedition, but it also includes plans to explore other planets together by synergizing our strengths. And the Chandrayaan 5 LUPEX mission will be a major short-term milestone in India's own lunar odyssey, lunar exploration odyssey, which also incidentally envisions Indian astronauts landing on the moon by the year 2040. So the signing of the implementation arrangement today will fast-track progress on this particular issue in the coming times. Thank you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this press briefing. Thank you very much for your presence.